Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are back after being gone for about 2 weeks. Um, well, technically, we weren't gone for 2 weeks, but I did miss an entire week's worth of streams last week. Uh, I had managed to wake up in the early hours of Saturday morning before Memorial Day with an ear infection. Um, had some like shooting pain running down the side of my face, couldn't hear anything out of my left ear and except for me, I could hear me really, really well, um, overwhelmingly well, to the point that I was talking so softly that I was accused of mumbling a lot because yeah, it was just that loud, and I just really couldn't hear anything, and it made it really hard to concentrate, to focus on doing anything. It was not a super fun weekend. So when you think of all the things you want to do over the Memorial Day weekend, put way down on the bottom of your list have an ear infection. Highly do not recommend it at all. But because we haven't had a chance to get off on too many sidetracks over the course of the last week or so, because we haven't been around, let's start out with another one real quick. I've got a funny story to tell you. This is a great story. I think this is a hilarious story. So if you've watched very many of these, what? Well, when on call can't. Okay, yeah, this is true. Yeah, yeah. I tried calling the on call service, and yeah, they were apparently having trouble hearing me because I was mumbling. But anyway, funny story. So if you've watched very many of these streams, you know that I usually have a glass with something to drink in it while I'm talking. I have a funny story to tell you about a glass of water and a preacher sometime, but we'll save that for another day. And you also know that it's not uncommon for me to have a glass of tea to drink as well. Well, today I have not one, I have two glasses of tea. And the reason why is a funny story. And here's the funny story. I'm going to put that up after. Yes, I'm going to put that up after. So here's the funny story. The funny story is that this morning, as I'm getting ready to go to work, um, Jersey says to me, "Hey, I'm out of honey in the office." And she hasn't been feeling super great. So I'm like, "Okay, I'll go grab you some honey real quick before I leave and I'll put it in the office for you." So I go into the kitchen and we have um so we consume a lot of Alhambra honey. So I have right now on the kitchen sink, I have, I think, two of these that are empty, maybe one more that's full, this one that's two-thirds of the way full. And honestly, what we do is we go through so much of it that we stopped buying the little squeeze bottles, and that because four is enough for anybody, right? So we stopped buying little squeeze bottles. We just buy it in the big quart jars, and then just funnel it into the bottles and reuse the squeeze bottles. So that's why we have two or three sitting on the counter at any given time. Well, I just go grab one and I bring it, I put it in the office. I go to work. I come home tonight and I'm sitting down, I'm getting ready, and she asks if I want some tea, and I said sure. So she makes me some tea, and the tea that she made me is the Harney and Sons hot cinnamon spice tea. It's the one that she usually makes me. I really enjoy it. I like the cinnamon flavor. She put some honey in there, and it's very pleasant. And well, so she makes mine and she gives me mine, and then for hers she makes this combination of Bigelow's mint medley and perfect peach, along with a squirt of lemonade flavoring in it. So what you end up with is something that's very similar to a drink that you would be able to get at Starbucks, and it is quite tasty.
I put honey in it too, though.
And she does also put honey in that also. Well, so she makes mine and she gives me mine, and then she makes hers, and she gives it a minute or two to cool down, and then she takes a drink of it, and she says, "This tastes spicy," and I'm like, "Mine tastes pretty normal. I don't really taste any extra spice." But then again, I'm drinking a cinnamon tea, so for mine to be a little spicy would be considered normal. I didn't really notice anything out of the usual. So she hands her cup to me, and she says, "Here, you try it." And so I try it, and sure enough, there is it's got a little bit of a spicy tingle to it. Nothing ridiculous or outlandish or terrible or anything. It's
It's not
just
like a cayenne kick.
just a little spicy tingle to it. And then as I'm perusing this flavor profile, she says, "Are you trying to kill me?" Because this is what this morning, when I was just going to grab a bottle of honey to bring in so that my honey would have honey,
Tilt it towards the window a little more.
this is the honey that I got. And I don't know if you can see that, but right over there, it says,
Well, here, compare the two.
yeah, it's hot honey. So you can compare it to this one, and you can see where that one says hot honey, and this one does not. Just says honey. And yeah, I know that's blurry. Sorry.
Yeah, but that one's blue. Hot is red. It
And then
should
yeah,
be
blue but I didn't even think about that. I wasn't thinking. All I did was I saw the yellow cap. I reached down, I grabbed it, I picked it up, and I took it into the office. So, Alhambra, I really enjoy your hot honey. Jersey, not so much.
I mean, it would have been good if it was not that I can't have stuff like that.
And I don't even know what to say to this. Anyway, such a funny story to start the night off with. Tonight. There, we've already made it down 1.5, or, well, hey, we're starting the sidetracks out in good fashion. While I have some of my spicy mint peach lemonade tea. Anyway, let's jump into what's been going on lately. So this is, since we missed last week's episode, I'm going to go ahead and fold in the stuff that we did last week along with the stuff that we did this week. So you're going to get kind of an idea of what we did over the course of the last 2 weeks. Again, though, keep in mind that over the Memorial Day weekend, neither one of us were feeling super great, so there wasn't a lot of doing. There was a whole lot of not doing anything. So there was very much a lot of staying home. But I did have not this week, but week past, had another chiropractor's appointment at Slayton Chiropractic. Got that. Kind of doing that about every 2 weeks, just to kind of keep on an even keel, and really helps make my back not hurt nearly as much as it was before I started. And those lovely things that come with getting older and life. There are the ever wonderful, lovely maintenance meds from Corner Drug that we have to go pick up. This one really excites me because last week, you may have heard me talk about this earlier in the year, that Partovi's Euros and Falafel, they had closed. They were had a little strip of land right next to the old Teletouch building, and Hag Brown, being the absolute jerks that they are, were being absolute jerks, and essentially chased them out of land that they owned, because they wanted to be whiny babies. Um, and this was really sad to me. The excuse they gave was that, they needed the parking space. And I will still say that I drive by there 3 to 5 times a week. And the 10 cars they have in their parking lot, their parking lot that holds about 50 or 60 cars, um, not really sure where they're needing this. My only guess is that Hag Brown wanted money, and you know because Hag Brown's good at that. They're very much long on promises and short on delivery. I seem to recall a certain restaurant that they promised was going to open that took 4 years to open. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about them because they're not really worth my time. But I am excited to say that Partovi's is reopened. They have found a location on Southwest Drive that's ironically not very far away from the Shadrack's that's on Southwest Drive. So if you're used to where Shadrack's is on Southwest Drive, just like the next door down south of there is a little food lot that has about 3 different food trucks in it. And Partovi's is there in the back up against the trees. Go check them out. I was really excited to see them open again, and stopped there for dinner last week. Got my hair cut uh, also this past week. Hair by Lee, uh, inside the Sola Salons. Cut my hair, and that was well. I don't know if really getting a haircut's exciting, but I mean, it was kind of nice to get my hair cut. It was getting a little long and shaggy, and kind of needed it. Yeah. And we did not, as I said, Memorial Day weekend, we did not go to the farmers market. It wasn't that we had anything exciting planned for that weekend that we decided not to show up. It was that Jersey couldn't talk and I couldn't hear. And go ahead and feel free to make all the jokes about that you want, because I've thought of several of them. I really feel like it was and I'll just leave you with this one. This is the only one that I'll bring up, is that I think that if her not being able to talk at the same time that me being able to hear is completely unfair. The two of those things should have been separated so that I could actually take full advantage of both of them, instead of just having them overlap. Oh, yeah, now the keyboard's typing on the other side of the room. I knew that was going to get some sort of a response from somebody. Wonder what she's saying now. I'll have a drink of my spicy cinnamon tea while we wait for the answer. This is taking a long time to type. The best part was that even you got sick of the sound of your own voice. Well, this is true. I did get sick of hearing my own voice. Yes.
The rest of the world.
Now I know how the rest of the world. Oh, thanks. Just for that, we're going to see if we can make that. Anyway. So not last weekend, but this weekend we did go to the Paragould Farmers Market, and we set up there. Again, so here's the thing with the farmers market. If you've been to the farmers market this year, you've noticed that it's a little bigger than it was last year, and not everybody fits underneath the awning. That there are, there's spaces under the awning, and then the back gravel parking lot where we parked last year is actually now kind of like overflow. And the determination of who gets what spots is done pretty much as fairly as they possibly could. On Monday morning, they send out an email, says, who's going to be there. And if you're going to be at the market that weekend, you reply and say, yes, I'm going to be there. And then they compile all those in the order that they receive those responses. And the first 60 people get the first 60 spots, which are under the awning. And everybody else gets to set up in the back lot. Well, with us feeling a little under the weather and with the holiday weekend, we weren't really thinking about it. And so we kind of forgot. So we were not under the awning this past week. We were out in the gravel parking lot, but that's okay. We still had a great week there. Got to see a lot of people. But yes, we were at the farmers market this past weekend, and Steel and Stitches had the booth set up. We had the canopy pop up tent set up and had a fan going, which found out that my battery will last for about 3 hours powering that fan because it lasted from about 8 to 11.
I don't know if it was fully charged or not.
So, but that is what it is. Um, we had a good time. Like I said, good traffic. Got to see a lot of people. Got to talk to a lot of people. Um, you're right. It would not be a week if there wasn't a trip to Shadrack's. However, I didn't go to Shadrack's on Saturday. Um, Jersey's son came out and was helping us set up and stuff. So while we were doing some of that work, we actually sent him on the Shadrack's run. So he went and got Shadrack's for us, which that was very much appreciated. And it was a little warmer out there in the parking lot because you didn't have all the shade, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad day. I got to work on my farmer's tan a little bit. So all in all, it was a good day. Didn't get a sunburn. So
No, because he got me sunscreen.
yeah, you didn't get a sunburn because you had sunscreen. I just didn't get a sunburn, which was a little surprising, but yeah. Um, and then after we got everything set up, Jersey let me go wander around, which is, sometimes a dangerous thing. But hey, she let me wander around, and I got to wander around to all the places and see all the things, and I took lots of notes. Um, one of the first places that I stopped was Huffman Family Farms, and they have pork steaks for sale, and it was pretty exciting. I didn't get any, but they did have 1-inch pork steaks for sale. I'm sure they will have those again this weekend, and yeah, those looked quite delicious. I will probably have to avail myself of some of those in the near future. H&H Produce had squash, beets, zucchini, broccoli, and cauliflower. So the first time I think I've ever seen somebody with broccoli and cauliflower at the farmer's market. Was kind of excited about that. Um, Apparently, I was not the only one because I saw them as I was, starting to make my rounds. By the time I got back, they were gone. So yeah, I guess early season, not a lot of product available yet, and it just went quickly. I don't have a slide for this, but Patty's Family Crafts was there, and she had lots of embroidered and stitch stuffs, dog bandanas, pot holders, that kind of stuff. 22 Stone Bloom was there, and I learned a little bit more about 22 Stone Bloom. Um, 22 Stone Bloom, these are hand poured um, wax candles in um, stone candle holders. I My brilliant intuitiveness has said that's where she got the name. Um, I'm not always smart like that, but I think I figured this one out. But anyway, but yeah, this so she uses like all natural ingredients, to make the wax and stuff. So uh, you don't have to worry about the leads and stuff that you have in some other candles. But the other cool thing is that these are, the wax molds that or excuse me, the stone molds that the wax is poured into. After you burn the whole candle and you have the stone part left, you can bring it back to her, and she will give you a discount on a refill, uh, essentially for the candle. So, and I think it's like don't hold me to this, but I believe I saw it said that it's like $8 off for the price of your next candle if you bring back the empty. So uh, get you some, and she has coffee flavored candles. I saw that too. There was coffee flavored candles. So I'm very curious, and yeah, Caitlin should look at that. Okay.
Her and her candles.
Yeah, Caitlin likes candles. Yeah, we get her some great candles, and then let her go. Recycle the candle holders or candle molds. Um, Scatter Creek Berries and Produce was at the market again this weekend, and they had blackberries, squash, zucchini, green beans, cabbage, cucumbers, jelly, and honey. Oops. Um, there are a couple of young ladies there who don't have a Facebook page. That's why I don't have graphics for them. The Kaylin Cookie Cabin, they bring a variety of cookies each week, and they always bring something that is gluten free. And I'm always on the lookout for gluten free stuff uh, to make sure that I not only am I finding interesting things for me, but interesting things that Jersey can have as well. So, and they always have gluten free stuff. The first week we were there, they had gluten free chocolate chip cookies, and their gluten free chocolate chip cookies were amazing, absolutely amazing. They were fantastic. Um, Honestly, they were so good that if you didn't know they were gluten free, you probably wouldn't know that they were gluten free. That's how good they were.
Our car smelled so good by the time we got home.
And yeah, they make the car smell really good too. Um, this week I went back and they're like, yeah, we got gluten free stuff. We've got gluten free peanut butter cookies, which is great that they're gluten free. Not so great for the peanut allergy. So, but they do take requests, and next week they should have some more of those gluten-free chocolate chip cookies available, and I'm really looking forward to that.
They didn't just take requests; they took the allergy
Yes,
information down.
yeah, they took. They had me write down my name and my phone number and what I was interested in and the allergy information and all that stuff, so they knew, what to get, what to make, and what not to include, and that kind of stuff. So that was really great. That was fantastic of them. And the cookies are super yummy. Have I mentioned that the cookies are really good? You should try their cookies. The cookies are really good. Laura's embroidery and design was there, and I joked with her a little bit. She has memory quilts and memory bills, and memory bears and memory quilts and some other embroidered stuff. And
doesn't mean what you think it means.
I asked her about that. I said that if the memory quilts work, I will buy them all. And she said, unfortunately, that's not the way those work. So I was somewhat saddened to hear that because I could really use a memory quilt boost replacement enhancement something. My memory's like a steel trap. Nothing gets out. Yes, no, maybe.
Nothing goes in.
Harrington Homestead was there. They had some fresh eggs. They had dried fruit. They also have a line of like moisturizers, lip scrubs, um, and those kind of things as well. Somebody's Mama Boutique had hair bows available, and Alhambra Orchard and Apiary had their selection of honeys and soaps and lotions and some of their hot honey, which I am enjoying currently, although slightly unintentionally.
You're actually enjoying it in the cup you got me from them from Christmas.
This is true. That is the cup that I got from Alhambra Orchard and Apiary as a Christmas gift for Jersey. And it now has the spicy tea that I get to enjoy in it. Again, completely by accident. Tiny Green Farm was there with their selection of microgreens. I didn't see him when I stopped by. He was not there. He had stepped away for a little bit. So I didn't get a chance to visit with him this week. But I'm sure I'll see him again next week. He had a really interesting selection there. It looked like by the time I stopped by and it was 8:30, 9 o'clock when I did. So it was still early in the day. It looked like he had about probably about half of his stock for the week was already worked through. So it's great to see that he's having that kind of success. Dwarf on the Rocks with their handmade goat milk soap was there. I saw them. They have a lot of different types and varieties of handmade soap. And like I said, this is goat milk soap. That's that's a really unique thing. I've seen a lot of people selling different types of soap and things like that. Alhambra, they sell soap. Their soap is made with their beeswax. Dwarf on the Rocks, they make their soap from their goat milk. So it's interesting, different ways of coming up with a similar end product that will provide different um,
Benefits.
different benefits and appeal to different individuals. So JoJo's Baking Company was there. They had cookies and cupcakes. Lost Creek Flowers was there with a lot of he does a lot of he'll do hand tied bouquets and then puts them in recovered glass. So he gets a lot of empty glassware and bottles like wine bottles and things like that, and he'll uh, shave the tops off of them and then convert those into uh, a very interesting looking vase. I was going to say flower holder, but I'm like, no, there's a better word than that. But yeah, interesting vases for the flowers. Yeah, so this is one that we got last year, and you can see this is it's a wine bottle that he's actually cut the neck off of the bottle, and then this has been sanded down so it's smooth. There's not any rough edges there that you're going to cut yourself on, and then fills it up with water and a nice hand wrapped bouquet of flowers to go in it. Um, 2 weeks ago when I talked to him, yeah, he ended up leaving early because he sold out of flowers. I talked to him again this week, and he said that he's kind of right on the cusp. He's didn't have a super big inventory this past week, but it looks like his flowers are really starting to come in, and he's really excited about having a lot of extra new and a bigger variety and bigger selection of flowers for this weekend coming up. Big Creek Family Farms was there, and not only did I not get a chance to go by Huffman Family Farms and get some pork steaks. Um, I was fully intending to get some brats from Big Creek Family Farms, and I got distracted. And I didn't make it back over there to get those either. So there's always next week. Boog Shed Creations, they have hand stitched aprons. Something Sweet was there, and Something Sweet had a great selection of different baked goods, all sorts of different stuff there, all sorts of little sweets and stuff. I didn't stop at their booth and pick up anything this week. Normally, they do bring some of their keto stuff, and their keto stuff is usually gluten friendly. But I didn't stop by there. Just at the time that I went by there, they had several people in front of their booth, and I didn't want to take their time. I was letting them do that while I was continuing to walk around and browse. Red Oak Candy Company was there, and I got to see them and visit with them for a little bit. They came over and said hi, actually, before the market opened as well, and we got to visit with them and see how things were going for them. They had some new flavors of their nougats out. Looked like some really interesting stuff. I'm going to have to check into that a little further in the coming weeks. Pollard Farms and Homestead was there. They had a new flavor of their sauce. They had a new flavor of their sauce that they had developed this past week, and it was its first appearance at the market this past weekend. Island Heat was the name of it, and
when you got to sample 2 weeks ago, but wasn't ready for bottling.
No, it wasn't. This was a different one. Um, but yeah, the Island Heat, it's got a really nice flavor to it, and people are asking, like, they had a post on their page. It's like, here's our new sauce. What do you think would be the best way to use it? Now, I should also say that apparently this was really liked because they gave out samples of it and then sold out of their stock that they had with them on Saturday. So apparently everybody liked it, and they were looking for some feedback on, how did you use this? What did you use this to prepare? That kind of stuff on their Facebook page. And I really wanted to comment and say, the only thing I could really think about using it for is a straw. Because it was really good. And I'd probably just like stick a straw in the jar and just, drink it. Um,
Alejandra liked my "You tried to kill me."
I didn't try to kill you. I don't care what you and Alhambra say.
They just found it funny.
Well, I'm glad they found it funny. Still didn't try to kill you. But yeah, the island heat, it's got a really it's got a very warm, bright flavor to it. It's got some hints of pineapple in it. It has a really good flavor to it. I just haven't quite decided what I would actually use it like to cook. But I would definitely just tip a bottle up and drink it. Port? Well, I kind of feel like you can just about cook anything with pork.
Especially when you have pineapple.
Sarcastic Dragon Design was there. I saw them and said hi to them, visited with them for a little bit. And right next to Sarcastic Dragon Design is Xander's Candy World, where he has all sorts of candy glass available. And it looked really delicious. And I had to walk away from there rather quickly. Xander's a really cool kid. And it was really hard for me not. Well, it was just really hard for me not to buy the candy. The fact that Xander's a really cool kid was just like bonus points. So didn't hang around there very long. Got to see X Delicious and found out that that's the way you say that. And yeah, they have lots of cookies and other assorted baked goods, homemade sweets, that kind of stuff is what you can get from X Delicious. I know, and if you've listened, I don't know if you've noticed this. I was noticing this as I was like going through the list preparing tonight. There are a lot of different baked goods at the farmers market right now, and that's okay because even though there's a lot of different people with baked goods, I didn't see really any overlap between the different baked goods. So it's like everybody has their own little thing that they do. So there might be a lot of baked goods, but it's a lot of people who have a lot of different kind of baked goods. And what is Alhambra saying now? Elizabeth Walker, I'm so glad you did not succumb to the spicy death. We have little flame stickers for the lids until our new red lids come in. So hopefully it won't happen again. We'll slide y'all a sticker Saturday. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm as thankful for that as she is, because I know that she doesn't appreciate the hot honey like I do. So it's oh. Oh, Elizabeth says, thank you for the love and looking out for me. Well, somebody's got to look out for you, I guess. We were talking about baked goods, and Smith Vintage Bakery was there with her homemade bread made from scratch. She has different breads. She has a few cookies and cakes. She has yeast rolls and that kind of stuff. And that was her stuff. Always looks really fantastic. I've been so tempted to purchase bread from her. She almost always sells out. If she doesn't sell out, she usually comes very, very close. The biggest challenge for me is that if I bought her bread, I would be the only one eating it. Uh, I need to find smaller. Well, okay, maybe Alec would. Maybe I'd share. Heirloom Flower Farms was there, and they have, and again, this is two different people selling flowers now, right? But it's different, and they have these little tiny vases. So it's like little vases, little flower things to give away. But they're super cute, and they have some other bouquets and stuff like that. But their stuff is mostly smaller stuff, but it looks really neat. So it was nice to see them and all the flowers that they had and the different colors they had available at their booth this past weekend. Corn Utopia Kettle Corn was there, and I was very conflicted about Corn Utopia's Kettle Corn because I didn't know which one to get. Um, Corn Utopia was right next to IR Sweets. So I didn't know if I needed to get the roasted uh, almonds, pecans from IR
The
Sweets,
cinnamon
or
pecans.
the cinnamon pecans from IR Sweets, or if I should get kettle corn from Corn Utopia.
This is always the answer.
Is this week's bag? Okay, this was this full on Saturday. Those look kind of tasty. I tried to eat one, but I'm live and I'm not sure she would share. I'm live. I really can't do that. No, go ahead, because I can't really eat it while I'm talking. I got one. Okay.
All you'll have.
I got one. I'm gonna have to save it for later, though.
That is all you will ever get out of those bags.
That's all I get. I get one nut out of each bag.
No.
Oh, I just get that one nut
Yes.
out of all the bags.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how many bags there are. I just get that one nut.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I like her sweet and salty nuts. They don't belong in your mouth. They belong in mine.
Okay. I can't take her anywhere.
In my own office.
Embracing Wood was there, and they had a lot of, and it's really cool. Embracing Wood, we had this conversation with them a couple weeks ago. It says, it's really crazy that you never know what the market's going to have for you this week, what people are going to be interested in, like things that they had last year that hardly sold were just like going to like gangbusters this year. So yeah, it's really interesting to see how how people's desires and things shift over time. So that was, but they said that they had a good weekend. They got some new displays so they can better able to show off some of their magnets and their stuff like that. They have cutting boards and all sorts of different stuff. One of their things,
Bookmarks.
they have bookmarks. That's right, they have bookmarks. They have. It was them that had the 6 foot tall ruler, right?
Yes. So that you don't have to worry about changing houses. You can mark that
Yeah.
for your child, and it goes with you wherever you go.
Right. Yeah, it was one of the things we saw. I saw a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was a really fantastic idea. Is a 6 foot tall ruler. The old thing was that you would your children, you would have a door jamb in your house, and you would notch and mark the milestones of your children as they would grow, but that's not really super practical for people that are renting, or people that move around occasionally because of jobs and stuff, or maybe you just find that your needs for housing change, and so you buy and sell houses on a semi-regular basis. Well, you lose that permanence when you do that. But so what she has is it's a 6 foot tall ruler, so you can take the ruler with you and you can mark on the ruler all those milestones and see those. Caitlin should look at what? Oh,
the candles, 22.
The candles, yeah, the 22 stone bloom candles.
That do
the recycle the candle holder and get a discount on your next candle. But yeah, so the 6 foot tall yardstick, so that you can, or a 6 foot tall ruler, so you can have those memories and those milestones and take them with you wherever you happen to go. So I thought that was a really cool product. So, and yes, there was nuts retrieved from IR Sweets to take to my suite, so that she would have those, something to munch on and as a little snack while we were at the market. And then occasionally, there's some extras that come home with us. Faces by Blossom was there. I'm assuming that Tricky was there, although he wasn't sitting in his chair when I walked by, but I did see Faces by Blossom, and they were there making face paintings, and saw several kids running around with their different face paintings on, and it's always cool to see kids having fun, having them out there just enjoying the day. Gladys's barbecue was there, and Gladys's barbecue disappointed me. And I'm not telling you anything that I didn't tell them, because I walked straight up to them and I said, I just want you to know I'm extremely disappointed in you right now. And the reason why is because I heard that Gladys's barbecue was going to be there. So I was excited about barbecue. I was looking for food, but they didn't bring any barbecue. They did bring their selection of sauces and rubs, and they did, well, technically they did have,
They had an inside spot.
technically they did have a little bit of food there, because they did have a little bit of beef jerky. But I was looking for a sandwich, or something like that. And so yeah, that was, but yeah, all in playful fun. I did tell them that I was disappointed in them though. Perfectly imperfect. I forgot my spot. Perfectly imperfect handmade earrings was there, and those were kind of fun to see. Also, there was somebody there that had bear suckers. I'm not.
There was a lot of kids on
There were a lot of kids walking around with these bear suckers, and I don't know where they came from. I remember seeing a display with all the bear suckers on them, but I don't know who it was that was selling them. Um, let's see. Yeah, it showed up 3 times. That was interesting.
It only showed up once, but that was quite disturbing.
Oh,
I'm like, I didn't type anything.
um, let's. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Um, I have a note here that so when I was walking around making notes, I was using speech to text because I can talk a lot faster than I can type, and
You don't understand
I,
yourself?
I don't know what this note was supposed to be. Give me just a second. I'm going to have to look this up on Facebook real quick to find out what it was I was talking about, because I'm pretty sure it was not a reef. Yeah, it was. Let's see. Here's the. I was close. It was not a reef. It was a wreath by Melinda. That's what it was. Wreaths by Melinda. So yeah, Melinda had a lot of different types of custom wreaths there available for you. Wreaths, like the circle things you hang on a door, not something you find fish in. Sarah Mullins was there with her pottery, and all things sourdough was there. Sarah Mullins had a lot of she does a lot of different kind of pottery stuff. I don't really know a good way to describe it other than you should just go look at it and see, because there's a lot of different stuff there. All things sourdough was there, and I bet you can probably guess what all things sourdough had. A lot of sourdough stuff. And again, this is one of those things where it's like, I really want to. I'm just going to have to break down, and I'm going to have to get something for me instead of always making sure I'm getting stuff for Jersey. Is probably the way I need to do this, but I find that really difficult to do sometimes, just to be completely honest about it. Genevieve had handmade artisan soaps, Smoky Magnolia dog kennels, or Smoky Magnolia Kennels had dog treats. Southern Charms Crafts was there with lots of little crafts and charms and knickknacks. Amethyst Aura was there with uh, the the crystals and some of her 3D printed stuff and some different stuff like that. Um, Weaver's Loot was there. They have handmade crochet stuff. Finch Forge was there with a selection of knives and other metal utensils. Um, I know the knives seem to get a lot of attention, but he also had like mixing spoons and measuring spoons made out of hammered copper, that kind of stuff. Clover Hill Farm was there with some produce. Larry had produce there. He had Larry Cup had green beans and lettuce and some other produce that was there. Uh, Probably some squash, I think. I don't remember for sure. I remember the green beans. And again, that was one of those things. It's like, hey, I'm going to come back by here and get those. And then they were gone. Um, and Larry's Cup of Cream was there with the homemade ice cream and have all the stuff. We didn't get, we're like a week, maybe 2 weeks away from an ice cream float. That's pretty much where we're at right now. We didn't have one, but it's definitely coming up in the very near future. We did, however, have some refreshing drinks from Lucky 7 Lemonade. I had a lemonade, Jake had a lemonade, and Jersey had a strawberry water.
You guys had two different ones.
Yeah, we had two different lemonades. I don't remember the one that I had, and Jake's was just dealer's choice. So that was,
His was like, I think,
but they were good. I mean, they were all good. The Mad Mexican was there, and I missed breakfast again. This time, it wasn't that I waited too long; it was that they ran out of food. So they ran out of their breakfast stuff and had to start serving their lunch stuff. So that means I'm going to have to try to get to there earlier so I can get try some of their breakfast stuff. Charmed Cottage was right behind us, and she had some really amazingly cute little uh, jewelry items. I actually picked up something for my niece for Christmas. It's great. This is June. This is probably the earliest I've ever had a Christmas present picked out. Ever.
I'm good.
And I mean, now it might be the only one that we have for the next 5 months, but
Now, did you add it to the list
what list?
of things that we've got for people?
I haven't even made that list yet.
I told you to make that on Saturday.
I was busy on Saturday.
You were standing there. I was making Jake do everything.
Anyway, Sugar Less Indulgence was there. Sugar Less Indulgence. She has found a niche where she needs to have less sugar in baked goods, but she still likes those baked goods and things. So she's come up with creative ways to create delicious baked goods without having all the added sugar. Unfortunately, they do contain gluten. We talked about that, but she said she's not opposed to trying some gluten-free things in the future, but she also wants to make sure that she can perfect one product before she tries to move into a different area. And I fully understand that because gluten-free baking is a complete separate animal from regular baking. So I don't.
Does she not have a slide?
She doesn't have a slide. No.
She had
No. Shots produce was there. They had blackberries, and surprisingly enough, they didn't last long. They were gone before I ever got to them. Arkan Salsa was there with their salsa, which when I was talking to them, I said 2 weeks ago I had 3 jars of salsa, and I didn't remember which one was theirs. So I'd gotten 3 jars, and one jar was gone, one jar was half gone, and I'd taken one jar to work, but I didn't remember which jars were which. Well, I answered that question when I went to work on Monday, and the Arkansas jar of salsa was at work on Monday. It's gone now. So, but it was delicious. Uh, and then we didn't go to Unraveled on Saturday, but Unraveled did come to see us because Petra from Unraveled came down to the farmer's market, and she was walking around and stopped by to say hi. So we got to visit with her for a little while. And
Got to get in there so you know.
yeah, you're running out of stuff.
I
You
have
got
holes.
lots of empty holes over there in the shelf o yarn. So there's definitely going to have to be a trip to Unraveled in the very, very near future. And Crowley's Ridge Workshop stopped by to deliver a hat. They're not at the market this year, but he still does take custom orders, and he still does make hats for me every time I hit him up asking him for one. So I had asked him to make a ponytail hat. So it's just a regular, where you think of like a regular trucker cap. This one actually has a separate hole in the back to make it easier to fit a ponytail through. So what's that? A high ponytail. Okay. But yeah, so he made one of those for me with the Steel and Stitches logo on it, and brought it up to the market and delivered it to me on Saturday. And then, yep, there you go. You got a shirt to wear from Branded, and you got a hat to wear from Crowley's Ridge, and they do, yeah, very similar colors. And then the Cookie Monster was also stopped by.
I got to hug her neck.
She was up at the market and just looking around and visiting and meeting, saying hi to a few friends, and we stopped and got to, she stopped and we got to visit for a little while with her. And it was good to see her. She's been working on some other stuff, and so has decided that she's going to take a little time and not be at the market this year, but she's still around, and she's still making cookies, and she'll do custom orders, or you can go find those at the foundry. They have those in there. And yeah, it was good to see her, and good to catch up and find out what's going on with her as well. So, and then after all that was done, we were kind of hot and tired, and Lemonade House Grill got the privilege of cooking dinner for us on Saturday. So grabbed some food at Lemonade House Grill and enjoyed that. Saturday afternoon. Then Saturday evening, we were at Festival on the Ridge in Harrisburg. We didn't show up for the whole Festival on the Ridge. We just showed up for the grand finale. We went to go see the fireworks show, and yeah, Jersey's son Ricky is one of the pyrotechnicians that was lighting that show. So we got to go watch Ricky shoot some fireworks off, which is always fun.
I mean, granted, Scott was shooting them off too. But,
Yeah, well, we didn't go to see Scott. We went to go see Ricky. So, and then capping off the weekend, Waffle and Pancake House provided us with a breakfast on Sunday morning. We were after the weekend, we were a little slow getting out, and then it was just, we knew it was going to be another long day, so we went to go get a refreshing breakfast from Waffle and Pancake House before we got into our days, and which led us into Sunday afternoon, where I got the privilege of DJing a wedding for a very good friend of mine. And that was kind of the way we wrapped up our weekend out at Crowley's Ridge State Park, and got to DJ a wedding.
really fun venues.
Yeah, if you're looking for a space where you want to bring a group of people to for an event, whether it's a wedding, or could even be a smallish family reunion or something like that. There's actually a space at Crowley's Ridge State Park where you can reserve, and they've got like 6 cabins and a dining hall, and you can reserve the whole thing for a weekend and at a reasonable rate. So yeah, that was a really interesting thing to see, and I'm thankful that I was able to be a part of that event for them, and be able to spend some time just visiting and talking with them as well. So Update on the search for salsa. There was no salsa this weekend. I did talk to the Arkansas salsa guys, but I didn't purchase any more salsa this weekend. I am, however, out of salsa now. So, like I said, I finished off that last jar on Monday. So, be looking for more salsa coming up in the near future. And that's it. That's what we got for this week. Those were all the people, the places, the things, and the stuff that we did over the course of the last couple of weeks. And like I said, it's pretty exciting. Farmers market season is always a good time. There's always lots of stuff going on and lots of stuff to see, and it changes every week. There's always new stuff and different stuff there every week. So if you haven't been, I highly encourage you to come out and see the farmers market and check out all the vendors that are there. Be a lot of great stuff. And
You didn't see me there.
I didn't see you there. I thought I saw you there. I thought I saw you a few times. I saw you like 6 o'clock in the morning and most of the day, 3 or 4 times. I swear I saw you. I know I did. Anyway, we will talk to you on Thursday. We'll talk about what's coming up in and around the local area this weekend and next weekend. So come back and see us again then. Until then, you guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.